After 50 years of exile, the Foundation's scientists and scholars have settled on the distant, barren planet Terminus. A group of dedicated encyclopedists tirelessly compile the Encyclopedia Galactica, an enormous project intended to preserve human knowledge against the galaxy's coming dark age. Under the cold, pale skies, the encyclopedists diligently perform their work, unaware of the fragile political position they hold at the fringes of the Galactic Empire, their minds absorbed in the meticulous tasks set forth by Harry Seldon decades ago. Mayor Salvor Hardin grows increasingly uneasy about Terminus's vulnerability and their naive dependence on Imperial protection, which he suspects might never arrive. He observes that the encyclopedists, led by Chief Editor Louis Pirenne, remain stubbornly focused on their scholarly pursuits. Hardin understands clearly that their isolated colony could soon attract unwanted attention from ambitious warlords. Recognizing that Pirenne and his colleagues refuse to acknowledge this looming threat, Hardin quietly begins strategizing on his own, determined to secure Terminus's survival through political insight rather than blind faith in the Empire. Hardin's fears are realized when Imperial envoy Anselm Haut Roderick arrives, bearing news that the Galactic Empire, weakened and distracted by internal strife, has effectively abandoned Terminus. Roderick's appearance shatters the encyclopedists' illusions of security. Despite this alarming revelation, Pirenne continues insisting that their only purpose is the completion of the encyclopedia. Hardin, sharply aware of the impending crisis, attempts to rally support among Terminus's inhabitants, urging them to think beyond scholarly devotion and prepare urgently for inevitable confrontation. As the Imperial presence fades, the nearby kingdom of Anacreon seizes the opportunity to assert dominance over Terminus. Envoys from Anacreon, led by the shrewd ambassador Lord Dorwin, arrive with hidden intentions masked by diplomatic courtesy. Hardin sees through Dorwin's polished facade, recognizing the subtle threats beneath the diplomat's comforting words. Despite Hardin's attempts to warn the encyclopedists, Pirenne dismisses these threats as exaggerated worries, steadfast in the belief that the Empire's distant authority remains sufficient protection against local ambitions. Lord Dorwin spends several days on Terminus, charming the encyclopedists with vague assurances of Imperial support, cleverly avoiding any concrete commitments. Hardin grows frustrated by the scholar's naivety as Pirenne clings optimistically to Dorwin's empty promises. Determined to prove his suspicions, Hardin secretly examines transcripts of Dorwin's statements, discovering the diplomat has skillfully promised nothing. Realizing the danger of complacency, Hardin resolves to act decisively, fully aware that waiting for Imperial aid would doom Terminus to inevitable subjugation by Anacreon. With the threat from Anacreon imminent and the scholars unwilling to confront reality, Hardin orchestrates a quiet political maneuver, rallying key allies among Terminus's influential citizens. Understanding the limits of passive scholarship, he deftly engineers a peaceful coup, neutralizing Pirenne's leadership without violence. Hardin assumes decisive control of Terminus, swiftly dismantling the bureaucratic paralysis of the encyclopedists. Under his guidance, the colony turns away from blind reliance on the Empire and takes the first confident steps toward self-determination, prepared at last to confront the approaching crisis. On the day Hardin consolidates power, Harry Seldon's long-hidden time vault unexpectedly activates. A holographic image of Seldon emerges, delivering a message recorded 50 years earlier, shocking everyone present. Seldon explains calmly that the Encyclopedia Galactica was merely a distraction, intentionally designed to occupy and protect the colonists, while the true purpose, establishing a new political and social foundation, took root unnoticed. Hardin realizes his instinctive actions align perfectly with Seldon's predictions, confirming the importance of independent governance and adaptation over blind adherence to old traditions. Following Seldon's revelation, the encyclopedist's authority collapses as the colonists openly embrace Hardin's practical leadership. The colony abandons its passive approach, swiftly establishing strategic relationships with neighboring planets. With newfound confidence, Hardin guides Terminus toward diplomatic stability, cleverly balancing power between surrounding kingdoms like Anacreon. His approach emphasizes pragmatic diplomacy and calculated neutrality, effectively turning potential enemies into cautious allies. Under his wise leadership, Terminus evolves from vulnerable outpost to influential power, fully embracing the destiny Hari Seldon had predicted decades before. Years later, the encyclopedist's original vision is reshaped by Hardin's realism into something far greater, a beacon of hope, governance, and political ingenuity. Terminus flourishes as the nucleus of a new civilization, precisely as Seldon had envisioned, guided not merely by scholarly documentation, but by bold leadership and adaptive politics. Hardin's insightful governance transforms the colony into the foundation, destined to shorten humanity's dark age and rekindle the spark of galactic civilization. Thus, the true meaning behind Hari Seldon's grand plan unfolds clearly, leaving no doubt that the future lies firmly in the hands of practical action and courageous foresight.